Kalima, destroying internalized patriarchy. Welcome, Sacred Soul. You have entered the Dark Mother Mysteries, a temple where we don't tiptoe around truth, we dive into it head first. I'm your host, Shadow Moon, priestess, oracle, and your guide through the shadows of the feminine psyche. Today's lesson is not just spiritual, it's revolutionary. We're talking about patriarchy, not just the system out there, but the one living inside our minds, our choices, our fears. And we're calling on Kalima, wielder of the sacred sword, to help us destroy what we've internalized so we can truly reclaim our sovereignty. Liberation starts within. Kali's sword isn't just for slaying demons on the outside, it's for cutting through the illusions, beliefs, and programming that keep women obedient, fearful, and small. Lesson one. What is patriarchy? Patriarchy is a social system that prioritizes male dominance and authority, often at the expense of women's autonomy, power, and freedom. It has shaped history, institutions, relationships, religion, and even how women see themselves. In a patriarchal structure, power is often centered around men in leadership, politically, economically, socially, enforced through rigid gender expectations, women as caregivers, men as protectors, sustained by control over women's bodies, voices, and choices, normalized through religion, media, tradition, and social conditioning. At its core, patriarchy does not just affect women, it affects everyone. But women disproportionately bear the weight of its limitations. Why is it important to talk about patriarchy? Because awareness leads to liberation. Many women navigate life without fully realizing how deeply patriarchal systems have shaped their self perception, relationships, and opportunities. Naming it, exposing it, and challenging it are a few steps towards reclaiming personal sovereignty. On this channel, The Dark Mother Mysteries, discussing patriarchy is essential because one, it helps women break free from oppressive conditioning. Many women don't realize that their need to be good, pleasing, or accommodating isn't a personal trait or a character flaw. It is a learned survival mechanism from living in a patriarchal world. Two, it reclaims feminine power that has been demonized or suppressed. Concepts like rage, destruction, anger, and wildness have been associated with darkness and negativity, but in reality, they are forces of transformation, protection, and rebirth, which is why patriarchal systems have feared them. Number three, it creates pathways for true liberation. Once women recognize the ways patriarchy has shaped their beliefs and choices, they can begin actively dismantling those barriers, choosing freedom, self expression, and unapologetic authenticity. Number four, it connects deeply to the themes of the dark goddesses. The dark mother archetype, including Kali Ma, exists outside of patriarchal constraints. She does not bow, she does not conform, and she does not apologize for her power. Connecting with her energy allows women to reclaim their untamed self. How does this tie in into the dark mystery? Excuse me. How does this tie into the dark mother mysteries? Here we explore women's liberation, dark feminine wisdom, and rejecting patriarchal norms. And Kalima is the perfect guide for this journey. She teaches that destruction is essential to rebirth, that fear is an illusion, and that feminine energy is wild, powerful, and not meant to be controlled. My mission, along with Kalima, is clear: to unmask patriarchal conditioning, destroy illusions and limiting beliefs, and guide women into their fullest untamed power. By discussing patriarchy through the lens of the dark mother archetype, I'm not just educating. My goal is to help us reclaim our own version of Kalima's fierce energy to tear down the illusions keeping us small. Lesson 2. What is internalized patriarchy and how women uphold it unknowingly? So, internalized patriarchy is defined as when women unconsciously absorb and uphold patriarchal beliefs, even if those beliefs limit their own freedom, power, and self worth. It's not just about external oppression, it's about ways women internalize societal expectations and enforce them on themselves and others. How does internalized patriarchy manifest? Women may unknowingly enforce patriarchal values in ways like self doubt and shrinking, feeling like they're not qualified enough. What did I just say? Excuse me. Feeling like they're not qualified enough or worthy enough to take up space, lead, or demand more. Judging, people pleasing and over apologizing. Feeling guilty for settling boundary. Y'all, let me just start over. I'm so sorry. I don't know why I'm getting tongue tied. Okay. People pleasing and over apologizing. Feeling guilty for setting boundaries or prioritizing their own needs. Judging other women, shaming women for being bold, dressing how they want, expressing their sexuality, or living outside traditional roles. Fear of rejection or being too much, hesitating to speak up, challenge authority, or pursue ambitious goals because they might be seen as difficult. Struggling with body image and beauty standards, measuring worth by adherence to patriarchal ideals of attractiveness, equating worth with relationship status, feeling incomplete or unsuccessful without marriage or a male partner, dismissing feminine power, viewing emotions, intuition, and dark feminine traits like rage, softness, or sensuality as weaknesses instead of strengths. Why is it important to talk about internalized patriarchy? Because awareness leads to liberation. Patriarchy isn't just an external force, it's something that lives within us unless we actively dismantle it. Kalima is the perfect force for cutting through illusions and internalized patriarchy, and one of the biggest illusions keeping women small. Let's get clear. Patriarchy is a system of domination rooted in male supremacy, control, and hierarchy. It tells women be quiet, be pretty, be obedient, be small. But here's the twist that many people miss: it doesn't survive without our participation, and we end up becoming our own jailers. And that is what Kalima is here to destroy. Lesson 3: using Kali's sword to cut through fear based limitations. Fear is one of patriarchy's greatest weapons. Women are taught to fear rejection, fear independence, fear failure, fear their own power. But Kali devours fear. She teaches that destruction is necessary for rebirth. Kali Ma does not deal in delusion. Her sword is not gentle, it's surgical. Y'all, Callie cuts through the ego, the lies, the fear. Callie might be straight cutting off heads. Y'all see in my thumbnail that she's holding a man's head in her arm. I mean, in her hand. That means that she's cutting off the ego. You can't mess with Callie and thinking that you're going to be all into your ego. No. So, fear of being too much. Callie shows us that taking up space is not a crime, it's power. Fear of being unliked or criticized. Kylie reminds us that being feared is something necessary for personal liberation. Fear of losing relationships. Kylie teaches that anything built on repression is not worth keeping. It's not worth it, y'all. True empowerment comes from release. Fear of stepping into the unknown. Kylie's sword cuts through illusions, helping us see what is real versus what is simply programmed fear. Her word says, cut the contract you didn't consent to. Cut the belief that love is earned through sacrifice. Cut the fear that keeps you small, silent, and self doubting. Kylie teaches that your liberation is worth being misunderstood. To embody Kali Ma's energy, ask yourself, what would I do if I wasn't afraid? What parts of my life would I destroy to create something better? Lesson 4, the role of self inquiry in rewriting one's personal narrative. You cannot destroy what you don't first see or acknowledge. Kalima's energy isn't passive, it requires confrontation. Self inquiry means deeply examining your own beliefs, questioning them, and reshaping them into a narrative that serves you rather than society's expectations. It's asking hard questions like, who am I outside of patriarchal conditioning? Strip away the good girl programming and define yourself on your own terms. Where do I still seek approval? Identify the areas where you hesitate to step into your full power due to fear of judgment. What false beliefs needs to be destroyed? Whether it's perfectionism, obedience, or external validation, cut them loose. What kind of woman would I be if I existed solely for myself? Callie asks you to envision the version of yourself that is unapologetic, limitless, and untamed. True empowerment does not come from simply reading or thinking. It comes from actively rewriting your identity based on your truth, not fear. Lesson 5, actionable steps to dismantle internalized patriarchy. Because, y'all, one thing around here is that on the Dark Mothers Mysteries channel, I'm going to make it plain and simple. I'm going to give you real life ways in which to do something, because a lot of times some of these videos they talk about the goddess and the goddess archetypes, and it seems like so far out of reach, and like you have to, do all of these things um to what am I trying to say, to become feminine and to become free. No, we can just have just simple steps. So step 1, just know that there is transformation. Where there is transformation happen, excuse me, this is where transformation happens. Kelly sword is symbolic, but the cut we make in our own lives are real. Here's how to begin. Step 1, set unshakable boundaries. Women do a poor job of setting boundaries, and we have got to do that, y'all. Whether in your relationships, career, or daily life, practice saying no without guilt. Stop over explaining. Stop apologizing for existing. Refuse to equate burnout with success. Ask for more. Take up space. With step 2, stop seeking permission. Speak boldly, exist loudly, make decisions based on what you desire, not what society deems acceptable. Number 3, destroy toxic relationships. Y'all, stop romanticizing suffering. Oh my goodness. Love does not require pain. Anyone who manipulates, disrespects, or minimizes you does not deserve access to your energy. Y'all, you got to block them. You got to cut it off. Choose partnerships that honor your power, not ones that ask you to shrink. Y'all, cut them loose. Call back your energy from relationships where your worth was conditional. Step 4, rejecting limiting beliefs. Write down the patriarchal narratives you've internalized. Example, like I need a man to be complete, or I have to be perfect to be worthy, and burn them physically or metaphorically. Step 5, stop policing other women. Allow other women to exist fully without judgment or restriction. This includes embracing wildness, sensuality, sexuality, ambition, and rebellion. Step 6, embodying the wild feminine daily. Wear what you want. Own your sensuality without shame. Embody unapologetic power. Speak your truth, set boundaries, pursue desires, and take up space without shrinking. Stand in your fullness with no apologies. And y'all, let me just make a caveat. When I say wear what you want, of course, y'all, within, be respectable and responsible. Don't go into any establishment where people are fully clothed and not have on any clothes. I mean, please use common sense. That's all I'm saying. Um, every time you express yourself without filter, you are dismantling a piece of the system that tried to erase you. Kaliman does not ask for permission. She destroys illusions. So today, ask yourself, what illusions will you destroy? Final blessing from Kalima. Kalima is not here to comfort your ego. She's here to awaken your soul. She doesn't want you obedient. She wants you sovereign. So take up the sword, cut the lies, sever the script, and walk as the wild, untamed force that you truly are. You are not here to uphold the system. You are here to rebuild your world. As always, this is Shadow Moon of the Dark Mother Mystery School. Signing off. Class is dismissed.